The former chairman of the Nigerian Bar Association, NBA, Agbakoba, SAN, said he's ashamed to see lawyers on national television arguing on merits or demerits of the matter. The senior advocate of Nigeria expressed displeasure with what he described as the cacophony of discordant voices surrounding the controversy, saying the Supreme Court should be allowed to do its work. Today, the politics has been heated in the last 2-3 weeks over this back and forth on this.
The last week.
Syndicate Saga, man.
Yeah. You know, Agbakoba, I'm happy that Agbakoba has seen the light because the 25% needless and ridiculous argument over 25% of Abuja. Agbakoba was one of the big figures behind that thoroughly needless argument. The feeling that one small part of our country is superior to the rest of our country, and you can't even give us the parameters. Because it's not commonsensical to think in the first place that Abuja's votes are superior to the votes of Kano, to the votes of Kaduna, to the votes of Lagos and other places.
That would be chaotic.
How do people reason like this?
Recipe for...
I mean, what kind of thinking went into coming out to say somebody must win Abuja, must score 25% in Abuja before he can be president? You didn't sit back to ask yourself that, does it mean if he scored 25% in 35 states or 36 states, because he doesn't have Abuja, does it mean he's not qualified to be president? When people are held down by primordial sentiments, by hatred and all that, it hampers their capacity to think constructively.
Objectively.
No. They will not be able to think. They will not be able to engage their brains constructively. How do you come up with 25% of Abuja that somebody must score it to be president? There is no country in the world where such stipulation is handed down. No country. I've asked them, they should tell me what countries makes that kind of stipulation. Even in America, the grandfather of democracy, the big states, New York, California, so you may not win them and you will still be president. Yes. For example, the Republicans have been winning presidential election without even getting close to winning California or winning New York. Who will let them win New York?
Largest.
Will the Democrats open their eyes and let Republicans win New York? How? In what age? So we bring all kinds, and when this thing, those of us who are not lawyers, we came here, we said this thing is not, it makes no sense to think like this. We told them, you see lawyers that we respected. They came on TV and continued to, because the person that they were targeting, they knew he didn't get it. But he got what they didn't get. He won in places where they didn't even come close to doing well. Because he didn't score 25%, they held on to it. Okay, this is it. And the whole intention of the Constitution was twisted. When we were telling them, they didn't listen.
They were looking at
but the judgment came, you saw how initially they kept quiet. And you know, let me tell you, Ayo, the best lawyers in this country, they don't go on TV to boast. They don't boast. They don't boast. It's people who are incapable of winning even in significant cases. They are the ones who go from TV station to open their mouth wide. We know them now. Even some of them, the way they talk, and the illogic coming out of their mouths, you will know that even if a layman, somebody who did not read law, confronts them, he will defeat them. Because you even ask, where did this one read law? Which law school did this one go? Which university trained this one as a lawyer? When you hear them talking. the bias has enveloped them. Bias have baptized them. And they are incapable of a constructive and healthy argument. You see that bias oozing out of them, like this thing, like
Paul.
my mind was going to the ozone layer. So look at the situation. A sensible lawyer knows that once a case has been filed, you don't go on TV and talking about it. When we brought
WK,
when we brought Akintola, SAN, to discuss the Kano judgment, he said, I'm appearing here for one reason, because the appeal has not been filed. If the appeal had been filed, you will not see me here. These are lawyers who respect themselves.
go to court, as in they've won, they are veterans in the electoral battles.
Akintola, I mean, he's a record-setting lawyer. He was the one who handled Oshomole's matter. And Oshomole became the first, it became the first time a governor will lose his position, will lose his seat through the courts. Later on, people like Peter Obi too benefited and all that. So he said, I would not have been here if not because the matter had not been filed. But you see people, you see lawyers going from this. Come on. And you are not. So now Agbakoba, who himself was guilty of the same crime, is now saying, I'm ashamed. I'm very angry. I'm ashamed of lawyers. MBA president should descend on lawyers who are doing this. I'm happy that Agbakoba has seen the light. But people will point to what he did too, with the 25% thing and how they fouled the atmosphere with the baseless argument that they were coming up with.
This particular CSU certificate saga has heated the politics, JKB, the last 1 week, and a lot of interpretations.
Yeah, and a lot of
people will interpret.
Everybody has become Supreme Court.
Yes, the way they the way they want that will suit their purposes, and if you go online, you'll be shocked what you see online.
No, I even stopped discussing the matter with people because logic is being turned upside down. And once you know that, you're just wasting your time preaching to the choir. I said, well, two things I've observed. People will take a position that is illogical and will twist it around in such a manner that you wonder why they went to school. Number two, once the case is filed, it means that you no longer have the rights to comment on it. Why not wait?
I won't predict.
If you have a good case, sit down, get a bottle of snaps, enjoy yourself. Or if you know you have a bad case, then you normally will now take it to the court of public opinion.
They want public opinion to
try
decide
to,
cases.
so that you now, so why did you now lose?
The judges.
Why you now lose? Now say, I told you now. I told you they will do this. When it is common sense that 1 + 1 would always be 2. To not be 2.5. To not be 2.8, to be 2. And that's why demand was very concerned, because lawyers are making public nuisance of themselves all over the media. Especially in some TV stations, and you wonder, does this person know the law at all? Because in most cases, the point they are making is the point already before a court of law, or points already been decided by the lower courts.
It's one lawyer.
Yeah.
We have some very ridiculous lawyers in our country. I'm sorry to say. I'm sorry. And
grandstanding lawyers.
Grandstanding. This is the same country where some people whose names were not even found on the list of law graduates in our country. They too will be forming
a lawyer.
They will reform, say them be lawyer. This is what we are seeing. Those ones too will go and be arguing and this and charge and bail lawyers. So people who merely help people. And
our colleagues will also
write affidavits. They help people to fill affidavits. They too will be boasting that they are good at law. But as I've said, those good lawyers, we know them. You won't even see them going from TV station to TV station.
Why can't you wait?
The matter, the way it is best left for the Supreme Court to handle.
It's in their courts now.
Yes. Atiku knows what he's doing. He knows he has lost.
Final battle.
And this looks like his good night from Nigerian politics. So he's doing whatever he can to muddle the waters. Somebody, one of his spokespersons, claimed that TVC, they don't allow opposition. And I'm like, what is this one smoking? The other day, just this past week alone, the lawyer to Nasarawa State candidate of the governorship candidate of the PDP was here. Back to back, we had Kachiku of ADC. We brought him. This same allegation, even the NBC made that allegation to us, and we sent them a list of the guests that we have brought to TVC since May. Those guests were in the realm of like 65% compared to the ruling party. And we brought Labour. The woman who is their spokesperson has appeared on Standpoint, appeared on Yori Folani's program. In fact, on a particular day when we had the live, I brought her back because I knew they would go and say, they didn't allow her to appear again. I brought her back the next day when there was no live, and she appeared on Yori Folani's program. Peter Obi, I wanted Peter Obi on the show. I even called Shagari, Somna Sambo. I said, can you get me Peter Obi? He said, Peter Obi doesn't want to appear before. I said, why would he not want to appear before? We are not masquerades. And we are not holding a whip. And at TVC, we don't intimidate the guest. We don't put words in the mouth of the guest.
They're not on trial.
We don't put them on trial. This is not a law court. And it is not a police station where you take statements.
I saw one this morning.
We don't play to the candidates.
We allow you to speak. Do you remember before the election? What's his name? Dino Melaye. We brought him. He was even challenging me to swear with the Bible on air. And you will say we don't allow opposition. We brought Dele Momodu. Dele Momodu too spoke here. We've been bringing people. The candidate of the PDP in Kaduna, the one that they say looks like me, is Ashiru. We brought him. He too. I don't even know all of the different people. And you will still say without shame, without evidence, you will say TVC, they don't bring in opposition. Opposition have been appearing by far more than APC people on TVC. I can't sit here and call myself a professional and be in charge of current affairs programming and I won't allow opposition to come. How will that happen? It's not going to happen.
On this, Agbakoba now is now saying that, look, it's time to wait for the Supreme Court.
Yeah. And because the old system did not work, the one they did before, eyes on the judiciary, putting up billboards, the judges reacted appropriately. Not only did they lambast those shenanigans, they also let it show in their manner that they're also human beings.
They were hungry.
And they were angry and they showed it. And so if anybody has just an out of common sense, you realize that.
They showed it, but they still followed it.
They followed the law.
No.
But they let them know that they know that this is the game they were playing.
It's wrong, yes.
That to me is fun. I think that's what I'm
about. The noisy minority, that's what
very tiny.
Because you can easily be misled to think, oh, this is what the public wants. And I keep talking about my people in the north, where I was born and raised. They don't make all this noise.
It's not
how many northerners have you seen
on the social media
praising Atiku and saying, Atiku, yes, go ahead. Morasi, and all that. No, they have no such time. But when it comes to voting, you will see them, they will outvote you. Their political culture is stronger than that of other parts of the country. They don't need
to come and make
too much motivation to come out on election day.
Election day.
I've seen that happen.
Yeah, so.
When I was living in Kano, you just see people on their own. They see it as a responsibility. They'll come out and vote. You don't need to give them money to come out and vote.
Unlike some people
Lagos,
that
7.5 million registered voters.
I don't know why people
on
register
election
when they are
day,
not going to
Lagos.
use card. You are not ready to vote.
Shame.
Why you register?
they will stay at
Just go
home.
and collect the voters card and just put it under your bed.
No, they put it in their car.
Kano will always outvote Lagos.
Kano.
You may have more registered voters than Kano, but they will outvote you.
But
Anything,
the mobilization will be high.
the
I
political
think
awareness.
you know the old Yoruba saying.
Okay, we have to go.
That is I don't want to say the Yoruba because people are. If they accuse me of saying Yoruba on this program, the last song a deaf man heard is the song he will sing till he die. So these people will not.
Thank you. Thank you.
They just do what they do.
BKO, thank you for today's edition. And that's our offering today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. Join us this Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 for journalists.